BJ, thanks for your time. Wondering if you could shed any more light on severity of Malik's injury, and what your plans are, what the technical staff's plans are going forward with replacing that roster, whether it would be domestic or overseas, or what you got in store.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously were alerted to Malik's injury with him having to withdraw. We're kind of still in the beginning stages here of having our discussions amongst the technical staff. I think all options are sort of open and on the table in the terms of how we handle replacing him. So I mean, it's still a little bit too early to tell. It's an unfortunate injury for Malik. He's been in really good form. Somebody that we were looking forward to having in, and we certainly wish him a speedy recovery.
Next will be Henry Bushnell from Yahoo.
Thanks, Michael, and hey, BJ, appreciate your time. As you guys as a staff have sketched out these next 3 years and looked at what sort of games you'll be able to get to challenge this team and prepare for 26, when is the next time after this Germany game that you think you'll be able to play a top-tier European opponent like this? Like, are there going to be any other windows for a game against a European team specifically, between now and 26?
Henry, this is Michael. Give me 1 second on that question, and I can come back to you with an answer on it. So if you have another follow-up for BJ, you can, and I'll come back to you on that answer.
Okay, well, I guess on a similar note then, like, what have you guys talked about as a staff being the importance of a game like this against a team like Germany?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, as we sketch out what our 3-year pathway looks like, we want to challenge ourselves and give ourselves as many opportunities to play as many world-class opponents as we can. I think it's clear with the players that Germany has on their roster, the type of team that Germany is, that they fall right into that bucket. So we value and view them as a high level world class opponent that we're going to look forward to challenging ourselves against. Give it I would say an opportunity for us to get better against teams like this. In the opportunities that we're given, so we look forward to a really competitive and great match.
Thanks, Henry. And again, I'll come back to you with an update on that answer.
Got it. Thanks, guys.
Okay. We'll go to Doug McIntyre from Fox.
Thanks, Michael. Hi, BJ. Thanks for doing this as always. As Michael mentioned, Lenny Maloney hasn't arrived yet. And I know Greg spoke a little bit about him on Thursday, but could you just expand on how you see him fitting in to that D-mid role, especially with Tyler Adams out now? Thank you.
Yeah, we're really excited to have Lenny come in. He's a player that we've been tracking for a while. And he's been part of a team that was able to come through promotion, and now is having a really good season. He's a key contributor to that team, and that's something that I think I hope and expect him to bring that confidence in. In terms of him as a player, I think he's got a real competitive streak. He's a guy who wants to be in and around the ball. I think there's a physical presence to him in tackling and aerial duels and covering ground, which I think are I guess attributes that we look for a lot of times in that center midfield role. So we're excited to welcome him into camp and see those things and see those attributes come out in person.
Next is Paul Tenorio from The Athletic.
Thanks, Michael, and thanks, BJ. I wonder how much losing Malik for this camp alters the plan for what you guys want to try in midfield, the plan Bs with no Tyler Adams. You guys have you played in Nations League with a more traditional number 10. Gio Reyna played in that role. Without Tyler, maybe that would have been one of the options. I know Gio got some minutes in the Bundesliga this weekend, but does that absence impact how much you guys can play around with different types of formations or roles as you look for those different plan Bs or plan Cs for a national team without Tyler Adams? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, we were really excited to have Malik come in. And again, like I said at the beginning, it's unfortunate, that he picked up this injury. But I think a great strength of our entire group is our versatility and adaptability of a lot of our players. So I expect that we're still going to be able to put these guys in positions that are going to, one, I would say, help our team exploit some areas that we hope that we can versus Germany. And I think, as we've shown over time, we have a lot of players that can play different roles in different positions. And, we'll just continue to use that depth because that is one of what we view as one of our strengths.
We'll go to Jonathan Chenoweth from the Philadelphia Inquirer.
Thanks, Michael. Hi, BJ. Hope all is well. To the point, again, about Tillman, admittedly, I know you're early in the process of figuring out who's going to replace him, who specifically is going to replace him. But should we expect a like-for-like positional replacement, or would you go elsewhere on the squad in terms of what you might do?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of discussions and a lot of different scenarios that are happening right now within the technical staff. So I can't give you an exact answer whether it'll be like for like, but I can continue to say that I think there's, great versatility amongst already the player pool that we have with guys that can play different positions. So it's just going to come down to, where we feel that we can, have the biggest, which guy can come in and make that biggest impact.
Next is Jeff Carlisle from ESPN FC.
Thanks, Michael. Hi, BJ. Going back to Maloney just for a bit, you said you guys have been watching him for a while. You've seen a lot of him. You talked about how mobile he is. Is his mobility sufficient to play as a single holding midfielder, or do you see him more as a guy who maybe needs a teammate by his side?
No, I mean, I think when you watch him play for Heidenheim, he's shown that he has the ability to do both. So, for us, I think, again, he gives us versatility for playing a lot of different, styles and systems, along with a lot of the other guys that we have. So we think he's got a profile that can help us. And we're excited, again, to get him integrated into the group and integrated into sort of our style as quickly as we can.
Next is Mike Whitala from Soccer America.
Yeah, thanks very much. Can you speak as specifically as you can to the challenges of playing Germany and how that might affect your lineup or your tactics? Or would there be certain players that you would want to have play against Germany that might not be playing if it wasn't Germany? How much of it matters that it's Germany or the specific appointment?
I mean, I don't think. I mean, the way we approach everyone is we do our analysis. Obviously, there's a challenge because there is a new coach, and a very good coach and a coach that will definitely have his team organized just by his past sort of appointments with some of the German clubs. So what we expect is a high quality world class opponent, but at the same time, we believe in the group that we have here. Every player can make an impact. We talk about that all the time, about how everyone's going to play a role in the match, and it's just a great opportunity for all of us to challenge ourselves against a team like Germany, and again continue to rely on our processes on how we analyze the opponent and try to set our team up the best way we can to exploit that.
Thank you.
We'll go to Kyle Bond from Sporting News.
Thanks, Michael. Hey, Coach. I'm wondering how you guys see Gio Reyna being used in this camp. Obviously, he's still working his way back from injury. Greg indicated, his number one goal, get him back to Dortmund healthy and fit. But he mentioned that Gio could play a number of different positions. So what do you guys see him doing here in this camp and then maybe long-term wise for him tactically?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think integrating Gio is the same way that we integrate a lot of our other players. We watch them weekly in their clubs. I think there's a lot of guys that maybe play different positions with their clubs and when they play here. And again, I'll reiterate the idea that we think that's a great strength. We think that's a great strength in the group, that we have adaptable and versatile players, Gio being one of them. But at the same time, there's a list of guys, where we've played Brendan Aronson in different positions. Even players like Tim Ream, if you look back, we've played Tim Ream at left back before. So, I think for us, it's about creating and giving ourselves the best opportunity to have the best match we can versus Germany. Again, using the ability that we have to analyze them and put in a game plan, and really rely on our depth, our adaptability, and our versatility of, I would say, the entire player pool.
Next will be Charlie Bone from MLSsoccer.com.
Hey, BJ, thanks for speaking to us as always. Whenever you guys get together, and I know this time you're back in Nashville where you started the road to Qatar, there's a discussion among fans and pundits about where the national team plays and why. And I know you guys aren't the only voice, but the coaching staff has a big role in that. What goes into those decisions, and how do you guys balance the familiarity of locations that you know and like versus maybe trying to bring the game and the team to different fans in different parts of the country?
Yeah, it's a great question. There's a lot of factors that go into it. We feel fortunate that we have the opportunity to play here again in Nashville. There's great support, in the town, and I think for us it's a combination of a lot of things, whether it's geographically, whether it's the training facilities. All of those different things go into it. So, and each window I'd say is unique in the challenges that they bring, whether it's the time of year, and the weather and those type of things. So, but I know that we, right now we've been here already a couple days, and Nashville has been, a really great place for us at the moment.
This will also be the U.S. men's team's first visit to Geodis Park here in Nashville, the home of Nashville SC. We'll continue with Sanjay Sujan-Thakumar.
Thanks, Michael, and thanks, BJ, as always, for your time. It seems like the theme has transitioned with this cycle from change the way the world views American soccer to change soccer in America forever. It sounds like that based on the last camp. Could you talk about what that means to you and what goes into that? Is it just about a deep run in 2026? Obviously, everyone's thinking about 2026, but are there other things that go into that, such as, style of play and maybe the other competitions along the way, or even, games against a high-profile opponent like Germany this weekend? What does that mean to you and what goes into that? Thank you.
Changing soccer in America forever means, I would say, all of those things that you just mentioned and even more, even bigger. For us, we talk about this group wants to leave a lasting legacy forever inside the country. That, players are, kids are growing up like wanting to be our players at young ages. And I'll give you an example. We'll know that when, a next generation of kids start being named Westons and Tylers and Christians and Matts and all of these guys. That's what we want. We want it to impact all the way across the board, a legacy. And of course, all of those small increments like you speak about in terms of style of play and competing against, the world's best teams, and winning those games and those type of things are all small little steps to this bigger vision that we have, which is to really change it forever, that it lasts many, many generations.
Matt is fully supportive of the idea of kids being named after. Matt is here along with Chris, so we'll take one more question for BJ and then we'll let him go, and that'll come from Andrew Jones.
Thank you, Michael. BJ, hope the family and you are doing well. Just want to ask you first of any conversation that you had with Leonard directly in terms of getting his gauge into being a part of this program, and your thoughts on that Saturday of not only great contributions for many of your players, but what Christian and Eunice were going through and how Christian was almost a goalkeeper on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's always funny when you see those guys because so many times you'll see them, they'll mess around in goal and practice in goal after training and stuff. But when you really see it come, to be honest, listen, you don't want it to happen. But it's a fun, those are little fun moments that make each game unique. To your first part with Lenny, the conversations that we've had with Lenny, he is absolutely pumped to be part of the program, and I can say that it's reciprocated that our group is ready to welcome him in like we welcome all of the guys that come in for their first time. It's a great strength of ours, and I think it's our job to integrate him and welcome him in, and at the same time, I know that he's going to embrace the entire opportunity that he's given.